Hello, and welcome to my dining room. My name is Emily, and this is my channel here on YouTube where I restore and renovate my 120-year-old house. In today's video, we will be embarking on a journey together, one that may take me to the edge of insanity. However, in the pursuit of beauty and curiosity, it is a path that I must venture down. Today's video is not about transformation, but experimentation. I hope to discover what I am looking for. As mentioned, today we're going to be doing a little experiment, and my hope is that at the end of that experiment, I will be able to make a major decision about the house. If you've watched my previous videos, you will know that this entire house has beautiful wooden trim. Every door, every window. Some of it is carved, some of it is more plain. Some of it's original to the house, some of it is not. And there's a big variety of trim, but almost all of it needs some work. Whether it be to age, pet damage, bad previous paint jobs, just general wear and tear. There's a lot going on with the wood trim in this house. And one of my long-term goals is to restore and or refinish all of it. Just miles and miles of trim restoration. It's gonna be a big project. Which brings me to today's task. We are currently downstairs again in the dining room, and the trim in the downstairs is original to the house. It is this beautiful, rich, dark, reddish brown color. This is, to me, like top tier trim. It needs refinishing. However, this color, I'm obsessed with. It's so warm and cozy and deep and rich. It's beautiful. Let's go upstairs and do a little compare and contrast. We are now up in my bedroom, which is my current big work in progress, and the trim up here is quite different from the trim downstairs. I do not believe that this trim is original to the house. It's a much lighter, more honey, orangey color. It's very shiny. You can kind of see the light reflecting off of it. And to me, this trim is much less successful than the trim downstairs. One of my deepest desires would be to darken this trim to better match the trim downstairs. It's never gonna be an exact match. I do think this wood is newer. I think the species is probably different, but I do think we could get it much closer to matching than it is currently. And I think it would just look so much more striking if this wood was darker. I love a rich, dark, almost like reddish wood. I think it's stunning. And I think it would add a lot to this upstairs space. As a little compare and contrast, a couple videos ago, I ripped out some of the upstairs trim around a door I am planning to close in, and this is a piece. I think you can see downstairs trim, upstairs trim. This is much lighter, less rich, less chocolatey, and I want these to better match. I think if they were more similar, oh, it would just be so good. It would be so striking. I can't get the image out of my head. I'm obsessed. And again, I have to refinish all of this trim anyways. It's not like I can just leave it as is. Like, it needs a lot of work. So I was like, while I'm at it, I might as well see if I can darken the trim. I think it's something I could maybe try. Oh my God, it's gonna be so much work. Which brings me to the topic of today's video. Redoing all of that trim is going to be so time consuming and labor intensive. It would be pretty disappointing to get to the end of it and be like, oh, it's not quite right. It's not the right color. It's blotchy, whatever. And so today I have two pieces of identical trim from upstairs, and we're gonna test out the whole process. From my research, I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. And so we're gonna go through the whole process and test out 2 different stains, both of which I think could potentially be what I am looking for. Then I can go into the larger project of refinishing the trim upstairs with a bit more confidence that I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be doing this whole project in my dining room, which I recognize is not ideal. However, it's been in the negative degrees Fahrenheit, and my garage is full of stuff. It's not conducive to being a workspace at the moment, so I'm working with what I have, which is a dining room table. So, step 1, clear everything out. Put down a protective barrier. Let's go. Next, I've already done it to this piece, but there are some nails, big scary nails coming out of this piece of wood. This right here is another reason I think this is not original to the house. I looked it up. Permanent marker was invented in 1910, but was not widely used until the 50s. So this house was built in 1906. I think this is new trim. In order to stain the wood a darker color, the current coating has to be removed. If you put new stain on this, it'll just like not do anything because this has got a protective coating. So we have to get rid of it. And in order to do that, I am using Dumond Smart Strip, which every time I see this, I think about beignets. If you know, you know. Anyways, this stuff is like super non-toxic, which is why I picked it. A lot of other wood strippers will just like burn your lungs and like make your hair fall out, but not this stuff. This stuff you probably could eat it. And I did do a test patch and it worked pretty well. So that's what we're gonna do. Also, my lawyer told me that I should tell you that you should not eat the Smart Strip. I don't know if that was obvious to everyone, but that was a joke. Let's do it, y'all. I gotta put my hair up, otherwise it will get everywhere. Fun fact, I have not gotten a haircut in over a year, and it was long then. And truly, I'm just so lazy, and my hair drives me crazy every day, yet still I won't go get a haircut. That's all. And then you wrap them up like little presents in this paper that keeps the stripper wet. And now this sits for 24 hours and it does all the work for me. And I'm gonna go have a glass of wine. Work smarter, not harder, everyone. Giving you all a little peek in the light of day. This has been sitting for about, I want to say 16 hours at this point, and you can see that the white stripper is turning a lovely murky shade of tan as it like sucks up and dissolves all of that finish. Looking good. All right, y'all, it is time. It has been about 24 hours. I think these trims have sufficiently cooked, and now we're gonna clean them up. I've got some tools to help with this. So the paper itself should remove most of the gunk. I've got scrapers. I try to use the plastic scraper, but these pieces have a lot of intricate carvings on them. So I do have this to help get into all of those little nooks and crannies. I have water. So this stripper actually just neutralizes with water. It's great. It's non-toxic. I told you, you can maybe eat it. But in case we have some stubborn parts, I do have mineral spirits and then lots of steel wool. And I have a box to hold all of my crud. And there you have it. They look pretty much exactly the same. That is because they are wet. They've been soaking in liquid and goo for the last day. So once these dry, they're going to be a lot lighter in color and look a lot different than they did before. So I'm gonna let those dry for at least a day. In some of my test swatches, they needed a little longer. We're gonna let those sit and chill out, have a little spa time, and then tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be able to sand them. Good morning. Just wanted to give you a little peek at how the wood is doing. As you can see, I think they look a lot lighter, obviously much less shiny than they did before. I don't think they're completely dry yet, so I'm gonna let those sit for a while, and then I'm hoping by this evening they will be dry enough to sand. Okay, I think these little guys have sufficiently dried. It is time to sand. We're gonna try and buff out all of the little scratches and stuff. So let's do it. to compare and contrast the work that has been done. This is an existing piece of trim in the bedroom, and this is after stripping and sanding. I am questioning a little bit how old this wood is because, as I said before, there's permanent marker on it, so I assumed it was newer. However, I am also noticing nail holes in it that were not being used to affix it to the wall. When I pulled these off, there was maybe like 2 or 3 nails in each one, but there's like 5 or 6 holes in each of them. And so it makes me think that they were once attached to the wall, were potentially taken off, and something happened to them. And it's possible that maybe someone took them off and then used permanent marker then to label them so they could all go back where they belong, which is what I'm going to be doing when I do the whole project. It's a mystery. I don't know how old this wood is. I don't know if it was refinished before at some point. Yeah, very curious. The stain is here. What I'm going to do first is a wood conditioner on each of the pieces. And then I have 2 stains that I'm testing out. Both are Varathane gel stain. And I wanted to do a gel stain because I read that they are the most UV resistant. And since this is trim, especially the window trim, I figured UV resistance was important. So I have red mahogany and I have dark walnut. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these stained. I'm so excited. Look at them. Oh my word. They're so pretty. I am leaning more towards this one. This is actually the dark walnut. I am not 100% sold on either of them, but I do think this one more closely matches the downstairs trim. But I'm obsessed. I think this is gonna look so good upstairs. It has been a couple days. I have put the second layer of stain on the 2 trims, and now it is time to put some polyurethane on it. I am planning to do 3 coats, and they have to rest for a day in between. So cue the montage. It has been about 72 hours since my last coat of polyurethane. I've been letting them cure and really set in, and I love them. Let me show you. First, we have the mahogany, and we have the dark walnut, and the colors are perfect. I absolutely love them. Now, as you can see, they are a bit shinier than I would have liked. I did use a satin polyurethane, which is supposed to be one of the lower sheen ones. Clearly, still quite shiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some mineral spirits and some quadruple zero steel wool and just give them a nice buffing, and hopefully that'll kind of scuff the surface up a little bit, enough to tamp down the shine. So let's do that now and see how they turn out. Okay, this is after steel wool. I think they are less shiny, but still too shiny. Okay, here's what I'm gonna try next. I'm gonna get some fine sandpaper and really lightly just like give it a little buff. And then I'll hit it with the steel wool and mineral spirits again. And we'll see how that goes. I think that was the wrong choice. I am starting to question if polyurethane was the correct choice for a top coat. So here it is. I think from far away, it looks great. It's still shiny, which I'm not a fan of. But if you come closer, it's just got this kind of milky sheen. It looks really uneven. It looks like shit. Yes, I'm starting to wonder if I should scratch this and go a different route. Okay, I've done some research and I've ordered an ultra flat matte oil-based polyurethane, which I didn't know existed, but I found one. It's being shipped to me and I will see how that goes. I know that there are ultra flat water-based polyurethanes. However, my stain is oil-based, and I know that it's a little tricky to mix the two. My previous polyurethane was a satin, and it was just a little shiny. So I'm hoping getting a matte will solve most of my issues and give that strong protection that comes with using a polyurethane. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and end the video here. I would not say this was a 100% successful project. However, I have some ideas on how to make it better when I actually do the real thing, some new products to try. And as a little closing summary, I wanted to show you where we're at. So we've got the red mahogany, and the dark walnut. And I think I'm gonna go with the dark walnut. I actually think the downstairs trim, some pieces more closely match this, some pieces more closely match this. A lot of pieces are actually right in the middle. So I don't think I could go wrong with either of them. And I like a little extra added drama that comes from an actually dark trim. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. Again, this piece needs some work, but I like this color and I think it's gonna look really nice upstairs. And then any furniture I refinish, I'll probably do the mahogany. And then we'll have a little bit of depth, a little bit of interest in the different shades of wood that end up being used in my house. Let's go upstairs real quick and I'll show you these compared to what is up there currently. So here you have the original trim on the right, and then mahogany in the middle, walnut on the left. And I think it's gonna look super great. I'm very excited to get everything closer to this color over here. That is it for this video. By the time this goes live, I will not have actually started staining or top coating anything. So I'm curious to get any feedback that you all have, any ideas on how I can get that kind of matte, not shiny finish while also having durability. Whatever finish I use on the trim, I'll also be using on the doors. So those are obviously pretty high traffic surfaces. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye.